So the inner child is that little person inside of you that is holding all of your emotional baggage that started from the third trimester in your mother's womb. Yes. So we have three brains: the thinking brain, the feeling brain, and the repetitive brain. And your feeling brain was developed or developing in the third trimester, in your mother's womb. So that's where the psychological conditioning starts to happen. The programming, the who are you, the if your mother likes you, if your dad likes you, all of that energy start to go towards you the third trimester in your mother's womb. Why is that important? It's because we are born needing someone else to take care of us. We are needing our emotional needs to be met by other people before we can meet our own needs, which requires us to develop things within ourselves like trust. One of the biggest things, to be able to trust that our caretakers are safe enough to meet our emotional needs, and that our caretakers are emotionally intelligent enough to take care of their own emotional needs and not use us as children or babies to get their needs met. So, when it comes to the inner child, most of how we are taught to get our emotional needs met comes from our interactions as children. And our number one teachers are our parents, our guardians, or our caretakers. So if our caretakers have any personality traits that would be deemed unhealthy, compulsive orders, bipolar, codependency, people pleasing, lack of boundaries, their own forms of interacting with people, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, that is all being projected onto us in one way or the other. And that's if we have two parents in the house. If we're lacking an energy in the house, let's say the masculine energy, the energy that is teaching us about logic, right? The first energy that teaches us about how beautiful we are. The first interaction with the masculine, the divine masculine. If we are experiencing rejection or abandonment, that interaction or that tainted interaction with our father creates programming and psychological conditionings that teach us things about ourselves. And when we are born, the I am is very prominent in our lives, and through our experiences with other people, the I am is lost. And the I am is lost because our parents, our caretakers, are trying their best to either make us a good person, right? Or have us not make the same mistakes that they made, or on a more toxic level, they don't want us to be better than them. So while all of this is unfolding, the child is receiving wounds that is showing them that, you know what, if you cry too hard or too much, you're too sensitive. Don't do that. A soul separation. So now the child is thinking that it cannot cry or be emotional. You know, when children are curious and they touch the stove, they get popped. Oh my gosh, being curious, discovering things are not safe because it's dangerous. So you have a child has a soul separation from being themselves. So curiosity is no longer a thing that's accepted. Let's not even get into the fear-based religious beliefs. that, if you're a good child, you're going to heaven, but if you're a bad child, you're going to hell. That psychological conditioning of, oh my gosh, I need to be good. So needing to pretend to be perfect or to adapt personality traits or to do things that make yourself seem more appealing to others causes a soul separation, and you take away from the I amness of the child. And when the child is experiencing so many soul separations, so many disappointments, rejection, abandonment, it loses who it is and have to create a false self in order to get its needs met. And this false self can create things like codependency or narcissistic personality traits in order to get their needs met. And as adults, we forget that there's this little child in us that did not get our needs met as children. So we are adults, but still trying to get those needs met that we did not get met as children. So we're adults operating from development stages of children. It can be an infant development stage where you are learning to connect or disconnect in a healthy way, your attachment styles in relationships. It can be your adolescent self where you're discovering the world and people and you realize that the world is not safe. So as an adult, you have trust issues. So when it really comes to the inner child and why it's so important to acknowledge it and to heal it, because it's who you are. It's your first experiences, and not just who we are, it's who we lose in our childhood. It's our innocence that we lose, our ability to be in the world and just be in the moment. As children, we enjoy just being in the moment. And then as children, children always want to be adults. And adults always say, why did I, at the age of 21, say I wanted, or the age of 2019, like, I just want to be grown. Yeah. No. that's, you realize that that's not just what you want to do uh, when you get older. But all of that is connected to the inner child. And, the collective is talking about the inner child more and more. So I am grateful. I'm grateful that the inner child came into my reality and my perspective. It gave me a deeper sense of healing. And I've been doing healing modalities over the last, 5, 6 years. So being introduced to the inner child really came in a surprising way to me because my energy was so focused on shadow work, the shadow, understanding the ego, understanding the subconscious. We know what we don't know, or we don't know what we don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. So I think, with my healing, I was so laser focused on shadow work that I forgot all about that little girl in me that has suffered so much. My childhood is just so traumatic. And being able to give her a voice and being able to play and being able to connect to peace and joy, it's a level of fulfillment that I don't think I would ever experience without understanding inner child work. And it also allowed me to heal on a deeper level. Because after before the scooter accident, right? I thought I was just glowing, flowing, and just living my best life, right? To a certain extent, until I realized that there were still some cycles and some things that I wanted to release, that and triggers that I wanted to release that was just not leaving my life. And I believe the reason why it wasn't leaving my life, because subconsciously I didn't even know that this little girl inside of me was still dealing with all of these emotions that were suppressed, and that these emotions was storing energy in my body and creating stiffness and heaviness and bloat and headaches and different things that I didn't even know that emotions can do to the body. And I just really wanted to be better. I just really wanted to go through a new ascension in my life and hit another level of consciousness. And it wasn't till I discovered the inner child that I was really, really able to get these breakthroughs. So all the pain that I went through, it's worth it, because I feel like being a vessel of healing, you go through things that you never think or thought that you would be able to make it through, but you do. You make it through the other side of it in order to show people that they can. Show people that it exists. So, healing the inner child, to me, is the breakthrough that I needed to level up.